What's up, Henschel Nation? I'm letting you touch the power today. Coming to you live and in charge from Hamden. Just in my kitchen. Woo, let's see. Oops. Got the line on the wall. I got the dining room table here. We're just drinking tea, getting it in, doing the work that needs to be done to educate the youth of America whenever it needs to happen. And right now, that's now. It's happening now. You're getting educated. Feel it. All right. So today we're looking at the letters. We've been talking about this all week. Yesterday you should have selected your choices and submitted those via the assignment on Schoolology. I hope you did that so I can give you some credit. Get rid of my face. So today we're actually going to take those cases and start looking at putting them into letters, how that format looks, and how we can do that effectively. So just so that we're on the same page, this is how we're doing it. Our argument consists of three things. Our letters are going to consist of three things. 1, establishing a problem. 2, creating an argument and explaining why the problem is a bad thing. 3, giving the person who can make change a solution. All right? And just so that we're all super clear, I want to raft us so that we're focused on what it is that we're trying to do with this. Your role as the writer is a concerned global citizen. The audience that you're trying to appeal to is a person in power who can make changes in the situation that you've selected. All right? And the format that you're writing is a persuasive letter, meaning you're writing a persuasive argument, trying to get the person to take some sort of active change in a problem situation. And the tone is urgent and professional. So let's look at a sample. So what's going to happen today is this. I'm going to go through this sample with you. Then you guys are going to get broken into groups in a hot second. And you're going to get your rubrics. And you're going to go through a letter, break it up, and present it to us like I'm presenting this one to you so that we're all like steeped with a bunch of really good samples. So without further ado, I'm going to go through this one. The first thing I want to point out is there's a big fancy title and address and hoopla and shenanigans. Where does that come from? Very easy. When you go to your cases, starting on page 11, on the bottom left here, you're going to see on the left-hand side that there's the address, the person's name, and their salutation. That's important because we want to respect these people and hopefully show them that, you know, we're the kind of people who know how to talk to people in power and get what we need respectfully. So this person is the president of Myanmar, and we call them Your Excellency. Like the American presidents, we don't call Your Excellency. We call them Mr. or Madam President, depending on who it is and when. All right, so going back over here, I don't want to spend a lot of time on the nuts and bolts. This particular page, which you are probably sitting at, looking at, printed off in front of you, already does all that. So you're going to read that on your own in a minute. What I want to focus on is breaking this sucker down into the 3 parts. So let's go ahead and start at the top. So, dear President Calderon, cool story. We're moving on. We don't need to talk about that. I'm writing to express my grave concern over the treatment of Inez Fernandez Ortega and Valencia Rosenda Cantu, indigenous women who are mistreated by Mexican soldiers in 2002. Although they were brave enough to report the attacks to the authorities, no one has been brought to justice. So, this points out the exact problem. It points out what went wrong, and it makes it urgent. Though this issue occurred in 2002, nothing has been done since, and that's why we need to act now. So you need to sort of make sure that you're stating the problem in a way that makes the person understand that it's still relevant and it needs to be acted on. All right, so that's the part number 1, establishing the problem. Part number 2 is coming up with the argument. This is where you give them the call, like what it is exactly that you want them to do. You want them to take action on something, and what and why. So this is where you're going to use the information you got out of the UN Bill of Rights. So you're going to look in there, find where the UN Bill of Human Rights supports whatever case it is that you're trying to make here. You know, the UN Bill of Rights states that people deserve the right not to be, you know, punished for what they say. They have the freedom of speech or something like that. You're going to cite that document here. You're going to cite any information that the case is giving you in terms of litigation or legal action that's taken place on this particular issue that needs to be acted on. and you're going to get out. So let's read what this person did. I respectfully urge you to investigate this case and do what you are asked to do by the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. Cool. Notice the tone here. All right, I'm going to highlight it for us. The tone here, respectfully urge. He's not saying like, I'm trying to make you do something. It's being very clear, very polite, very direct, not wasting anybody's time, but also not being rude. Okay, the tone is urgent and professional. Okay, so that is the argument. It's really not scary. It's pretty easy to do. I think you can do it. All right, so third paragraph, this is our solution paragraph. So you're just really quickly laying out something that they can do to help fix the situation at hand. And again, this information is going to come here from the information that they're giving you in the case, all right, that you should have read. All right. Boo, 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 boo. So let's read what this person wrote in their letter. I call on you to ensure there is a swift investigation of the mistreatment of Inez Fernandez Ortega and Valencia Rosenda Cantu. I urge you to acknowledge the state's responsibility for identifying the people who committed the crimes, to apologize to the victims and their families, and to grant adequate compensation to the victims. All right. And then finally, I ask you to transfer all these human rights violations committed by members of the military to courts of law. So it's very quick. There are kind of like 3 points. I call on you to do this. I urge you to do that. And finally, I ask you to do blah, blah, blah. Your case is going to lay out something similar to this in terms of like 3 things that they need to do. One of them is probably focusing on legal human rights actions to get something fixed. All right. Notice, again, we're still being very polite. No one's calling anyone names or getting crazy. We're just saying, I call on you. I urge you. Thank you for this attention to these urgent matters. It's very much like I'm a concerned citizen is the thing that you're trying to convey. All right. So what I'm going to do now, break you guys into groups, give you your rubrics, silently for 4 or 5 minutes. I want you to read through and I want you to break it down. Tell me what the parts are. Tell me how you know the tone is correct. Tell me what the different things that they're asking for to be done are. Just break it down just like I did. You can do it. You guys are going to be able to use the document cam to do this. So hold on a second and I'll get you broken up into groups in real life. This is crazy.